This is Mobile Judge 9.0, Shortcomings and Wish List. So some of the shortcomings that we had this semester was strictly due to lack of time. What we failed to first implement as a shortcoming would be the inside the Grades tab here. We have judges and students. So the students is fully implemented where there's three separate views where first view is the students and their current grade, their raw grades, accepted grades, etc. So you can click on any student you choose and go ahead and see the judges who are assigned to that student and their raw grade and the accepted grade. Then if you choose any judge here inside this view, you will be able to see the questions by that judge and how they were scored and any comments that are left, etc. So where our shortcoming was inside the Judges tab, we have the first view with all the judges who are listed as graders, and so you cannot click on any judge to get the second view. So the second and third views have yet to be implemented. A second view should consist of all the students assigned to a selected judge in the first view. The third view is the same as the third view in the Students tab we saw and should show the grades given for each question for the selected student. The last shortcoming we had was mobile compatibility. So due to time constraints, the mobile compatibility was not implemented for the new People and Grades tab. So here we're on the home page. So if we were to change to Event Map, see everything works great. Email, same thing. But when we get here to People, oh, we've hit a wall. Same thing happens when we go to Grades. Stats shows the coming soon. So definitely something that needs to be addressed in Mobile Judge 10.0. This would be the wish list for Mobile Judge 10.0. So the first thing we'd like to see implemented in 10.0 would be a feature to be able to sync with the VIP website. So at the beginning of any semester, this would be normally empty, and you'd have to either manually add all the students in the database, but there's this very nice feature to sync, which will sync this active semester with what is currently in the senior project website. So it'll populate all the students who belong to the senior project website. What we like to see is the same functionality, but for the VIP website. So you'd click the same button, and now it would add the additional students who are in VIP, and it can keep things nice and separated. The next thing on our wish list would be, as mentioned before in the previous section, we did not implement any mobile compatibility for the People or Grades tabs. So we did not look at any of that code that has to do with the mobile. So there are some bugs in the system when it comes to mobile. So it'd be a very good idea if someone had just gone through all the features in the system and made sure everything is truly mobile compatible. But having to do with one of those bugs, we ran into this problem at the showcase that people, when they come to the showcase and maybe they haven't been in the system a long time, they've forgotten their password. So they go ahead and click Forgot Password. They would enter an email, reset the password, which would send them a link to do so. When they click on that link, it has two fields to put the password in and then confirm that password. When they click Confirm Password, it is updating the new password they have chosen, but is not redirecting them either to the login screen or to the home page once they do so. So that is just a bug in the system where it needs to be redirect from the change password screen, and I believe it also does this from time to time in the registration completion page. So something that definitely has to be looked into. So continuing on with the wish list, so from time to time, we've also been told there's some bugs sometimes with people using Safari. So that's continuing with the mobile compatibility. It's something that needs to be checked into when dealing with Safari as the person's web browser. And then the very next thing on our wish list would be to allow the administrator to change roles. So the administrator should have a way to change the role of it of a user from student to judge or to admin. At the moment, it's only can be done through phpMyAdmin manually in the database. So this is obviously the settings place would be a really good place for this to be done. Just somewhere in here, allow the administrator to either put in the user's ID or find them in some kind of drop down and be able to select somebody and then change their role. Or even you could add it into the People's tab as a new column called Role, and you could change the value of 1, 2, or 3 to whatever role that you want to give them. The next thing would be on our wish list would be to adjust the student assignment algorithm. Um, no judge should be assigned more than one student from the same project. Me and my partner actually had this problem. We had one judge that had to listen to myself and to him. So we don't want the judges to get too bored by hearing the same project twice, just with a different spin on it. So that would definitely be something to look into. And continue with the same student assignment thing. There should be a student reassignment button somewhere probably in the settings where you should add a button to allow the administrator to reshuffle the students assigned to all judges, or maybe even just for a single judge using a judge's ID. In the event a student drops or is marked incomplete, these students should be removed from any judge they are already assigned to. The current implementation only prevents them from being assigned to future registering judges. So any judge that's already registered in the system and has students assigned to them, they would need to be reassigned to remove any of those students that are now marked as incomplete or have dropped. Continue with our wish list. The next thing still pertains to the judges. So the event no judge shows up to the showcase for a given student, there should be a way to prevent this from happening. This will ensure all students have a chance to be graded by at least two judges. Possible fixes to not assign students to a judge until a judge has arrived at the showcase and checked in, rather than when they have completed registering as a judge. So that way, if a judge just registers and something happens and you can't go to the event, at least those students that are assigned to him could get reassigned to someone else, and that way they have someone who's actually at the event can grade them, and they won't have nobody or just one judge actually grading them. And the very last thing on our wish list would be the stats tab. Stats is still yet to be implemented since Mobile Judge 7. The stats tab should display real-time statistics of the grades that are being given during the show. So that in the case that the administrator or professor can see the progress of the showcase and how students are doing. They can also see how many judges are currently grading, how many are finished, how many are attending the event, maybe not even grading. So you can see when they have started and stuff like that. And that would be the end of our wish list.